All right, y'all, the plums are pretty much done cooling down. I had let them cook and then now just cool down. So I'm gonna bring the whole pot over here and kind of work and talk with y'all while I do that. And so I have my drink over here. I wanted to share with you how pretty is this cup. So I have all of these rhinestone cups. These are the cups that I sell with my daughter. If you're interested in anything like this, I do have the link in my descriptions for our store, for their Instagram store. So anyhow, I have over here also basically like a container that I'm going to be putting like any of the scraps, the skins and stuff like that, because as you all know, if you have a homestead or something like that, chickens will eat anything. And so I'm going to put all that in there and take it out to my chickens after I get done here. So let me go on over here. My plums have cooled down. Here is the pot. I'm going to take that lid off. And so basically this can get pretty messy. Make sure that you don't have like a white shirt on or something. I hardly ever wear an apron. I have really pretty aprons that people have gifted me and stuff like that that I have hanging up right there, and I've thought about using, but I just don't feel comfortable. I like to wear like this. So just get yourself the plums. If you have any that are still in the plum shape, pick those out and you're going to just peel them, okay? And so you're also going to want to dig for the pit or the seed. Make sure that you get your seed out. And you're going to just kind of go through all of the plums that are in there in your pot, which for me are going to be a lot of them. So this is kind of like what I did when I made my peach puree. I recently just also did that, but I don't think I filmed that video. But I made a bunch of peach puree, and I also sliced more peaches and stuff for smoothies. I didn't have any more peach recipes I wanted to do. We still have a ton of peach salsa, and we still have peach cobbler. So yeah, we didn't really need any more peaches, so I went ahead and froze them. So when you have like a whole lot of extra fruit, especially, you can just simply freeze that and use it for smoothies, or you can make it into the pulp, like, you know, what I'm doing now, making it into this glaze or pulp. You could literally just freeze that. So when I was really little, you know, baby, one of my favorite baby foods was prunes. And then later on, I don't know if it was because my brother was a baby, he's younger than I am, I started eating the baby food, the prune baby food, and it was just so good to me. I've always liked prunes. But as y'all know, you cannot eat too many prunes. So anyhow, I thought about different things. I thought about getting a dehydrator and dehydrating my plums, because I have a ton of them. I think we have, I don't know how many trees we have out there. We have quite a few trees that are plum trees. So we get a ton of plums, and I usually give them away, and I make things like I'm doing now. And I used to make jellies and jams, but we just never really ate them, so I'm not going to do that this year. But anyhow, but one thing I do like is prunes. So I thought about getting a dehydrator. Have any of y'all have done that, dehydrated plums to make prunes? Comment down below, how did that go? Or do y'all have any suggestions or anything like that for a dehydrator to get? So I'm thinking about doing that. The other thing I'm thinking about is like what I'm doing now, is just kind of making it into a puree or a glaze, and kind of like baby food, just having it when I have a little bit of a craving for it. But you know, you can't have too much of that, but I do like the taste of it. You know, I don't know if any of y'all do. My family doesn't really like it a whole lot, so I'm pretty much the only one that eats a lot of the food that I make here. My husband doesn't like any fruit. My daughter likes fruit, but not, she doesn't like, for example, this fruit. She doesn't like plums. Maybe she'll have one or something like that, try it. And she's very picky about it, so she's not like eating a ton of fruit. So I'm pretty much the only one that eats a lot of this stuff, and when I have it, I'll eat most of that until it's done with. So anyhow, I have lots and lots of plums here. So if you guys are getting bored of me talking or something like that, just move on, fast forward a little bit, and you can move on to the next part. So the Asian green beans that we're going to be making, I'll just start talking a little bit about it here. That way I can just show you how I cook them later, and that can be kind of a little bit faster. The Asian green beans are a recipe that my husband taught me, and he was making that with these green beans that he was growing. And they are really, really good. They're almost like a teriyaki sauce. They're just like, have y'all ever been to the Chinese buffets or maybe a Chinese restaurant that does those Asian style green beans? They're essentially Asian style green beans. So you kind of saute them up in oil, kind of fry them up a little bit where the skins get crispy. And then you add a sauce, which the sauce kind of almost gets sucked into the green bean. It kind of puffs it up a little bit in a way. So it has really, really good flavor. I don't know, they're just really, really good, and it's just another way you can cook up your green beans. We've done bacon grease green beans. We've done Italian green beans. We've just done them in butter. We've just done them in water. So we've tried different ways of doing green beans and stuff. So we have to just be creative with all of these vegetables and things that we get, because let's say we get yellow squash. We get lots of yellow squash. Well, we get tired of the same old recipes, but if we can kind of switch it up, it really makes it a different. We've done casseroles, and I don't think I've done the casserole for y'all. We did a yellow squash casserole the other day, but I think because my husband made that one, I didn't film that one. I don't remember being part of making that one. Anyhow, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm getting, it seems like almost done with the skins here. I'm going to just kind of go through here and make sure I didn't miss any skins, get them all out. Once I do that, I'm gonna definitely search again for seeds, because what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to put it into the blender. You can put it in the blender or the food processor, and I want it to be smooth, like a puree. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then what you can do if you just want to save it like a puree, like it's just going to be the fruit, basically the pulp of it and all, you just freeze it after you do that. But what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to make the glaze, and the glaze requires sugar. So if you guys have these plums, they taste really yummy when you eat them off the tree and they're ripe like this, but after you kind of do a bunch of them like this, some of them are a little bit sour, some of them are sweet, and so it ends up being actually a very sour taste. You're going to want to add in sugar. Same thing when you make your jellies and jams. It really requires a ton of sugar. Of course you can really go natural, but it's going to be very sour. It's going to be a taste you're going to have to get used to, which, you know, some people do that, and they're used to very natural tastes. At one point I was more into the natural taste and used to that, but that didn't last very long. I was a raw food vegan for a while, and that was my kind of experimenting with eating foods raw and just really tasting them in their raw nature, and really kind of stepping away from sugars and you know, salts, artificial things. And it was a good experience. Your taste buds really do change. You do experience sweetness and all kinds of stuff, like in coconut, especially, like there's really yummy stuff that you'll experience that sweetness in and everything, even if you're eating completely natural. So yeah, it's just getting used to it. We're just used to all these artificial, very strong sugars that, you know, all of these companies have put in there so that we buy their products so that they taste so yummy to us, but really the flavors are very exaggerated actually. Okay, so I have a ton of plums here. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands off and save some of this pulp to freeze, and then I'm going to come back to you when I have my little pot of the glaze I'm going to do. So I'll see you then. All right, y'all, so I put a cup of sugar in there. I might add more. Of course, I have a lot more plums than maybe y'all will have for your glaze. I'm going to include a recipe made for one person, or I mean one family, you know, 4 servings in the description, so go check that out. But anyhow, I put the sugar in there. I have my stove set sort of on the medium high heat, and there it goes. It's starting to kind of boil a little bit. I'm going to just let it simmer and mix in with the sugar, and that's how I'm going to make my glaze. I'm just going to use the sugar and the plum, and after a while that should kind of smooth together. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, so here is our plum glaze. I've already added the sugar and it's cooked down and reduced quite a bit. So let me mix it here so you can see like how it is. So you can see it's not super thick, but it's still got a lot of pulp and stuff. But I'm going to eat some of this, probably like either use it for smoothies or just have maybe a little bit in the morning or something like that here and there when I want it. And then using some of it for glaze and stuff like that. So that's what I'm using that for. Anyhow, today what I'm using it for is for our chicken. So I have my chicken over here. I have chicken thighs that I have been marinating in teriyaki sauce. So this is the teriyaki sauce that I used. So you're gonna wanna marinate your chicken for at least 30 minutes. And so I've already done that. And I have a pan here. I hope that this pan is not too small. It seems like I have more chicken thighs than I thought, but I don't know. Let's see if they fit, or maybe, we'll have to see. Anyhow, I have my oven preheating to 350. I'm gonna go ahead and move my thighs over here and kind of begin to place them in the baking dish. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glaze them with the plum sauce and probably add in a little bit more of this teriyaki. Just pour a little bit of it on it. Let me see. I'm probably not going to do any more of the teriyaki on it, but here's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to just use one of these measuring cups and just kind of scoop some out. And bring it on over here. And I'm going to drip it onto my chicken. And cover each thigh with this. Okay, and I thought that I might need to, like, you know, kind of brush it on, but it looks like it's already going to just be fine on there, so I don't think I'll have to brush it. So that is how I'm going to do that. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sprinkle some salt to your taste. And you're going to do some pepper to your taste, okay? And you're going to put this to bake for about 20 minutes and then check on it and see how it is. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you how it is in 20 minutes. All right, y'all, so now we're going to go ahead and make our Asian green beans. So I've picked green beans straight from my garden. These are garden fresh. Don't they look so yummy? So these are Asian style green beans, kind of like the ones that you get at the buffets and things like that for Chinese food. So when you get fresh green beans like this, you need to snap the ends off of them. So that's what I'll do here while I kind of just talk to y'all. And I'm going to give the little end pieces to my chickens. So you're gonna snap off the ends, and then I like to kind of, if it's like a big green bean like this, I like to cut them in half. So about that size. And so you can do it the long way, whichever way you want to do, whatever you want to do, okay? So I saw this little meme on Facebook. It had like a little grandma snapping peas like this, and it said, "Oh snap," that was the original "Oh snap." So that's where that came from. Anyhow, people used to sit around and just, you know, snap green beans and talk around the kitchen, and that used to be how people would get together and get work done at the same time. So it's just an activity that people would do. So we kind of just do it here to make our green beans. I don't have anybody to talk to but y'all, but I'm really glad that I have y'all to talk to. So as I'm making this, I'll just kind of chit chat with you and let you know what's been going on. So I've just been working on different things today. Just kind of work related stuff, so things with my courses. I have a new course coming out. If y'all don't know, I have a main channel called School of Scarlet, and that is where I have like an online school where I do things around spirituality, around psychology, practical type stuff. I also offer like counseling services and things like that. My background is in counseling, so if y'all are not familiar with that, go ahead and head on over to my channel, School of Scarlet, and you can see all of that there. But anyhow, I'm working on a new course for that channel and for that class for the school. So that will be coming out by the end of this week. So I'm just getting ready to launch that. What else? I've been working outside. We have a party coming up, which I'm going to bring y'all to. It's a crawfish party. If you don't know what crawfish is, you can look on my channel. I have a video about doing crawfish in the backyard. It says like redneck style crawfish or something, backyard crawfish. And that will basically show you what we do, because that's how we make it. We make our own crawfish here at home. Of course, we don't make it. We just buy the crawfish, we cook it. But crawfish is essentially like a throwaway food. It's very common here in Texas and in Louisiana area, which is the area that I'm at. And it used to be throwaway food. Like crawfish, they call it ditch chicken, okay, or mud bugs. So it's essentially more like a throwaway food. But it became very popular. I don't know. I know that the first time I ever experienced crawfish was probably when I was like 19 years old, because I remember going with my first husband to a NASA crawfish boil at NASA in Houston. And that was the first time I experienced that. I don't know, are y'all familiar with crawfish boils? Comment down below and let me know how long y'all have been doing them. I'm assuming that people that are Cajun have been doing them for the longest of time, but us here in Texas, I don't know. The first time I experienced it was, like I say, around the time I was 19, which that now is almost 20 years ago. So it's been a while. Anyhow, it's a social gathering. And then I went to go live in Arizona for a while, and then I came back. And when I came back, it was definitely very popular. That's something that my husband and I now would do together. And so we would go every Friday to it was called Carlos's Beer Garden, and we would meet there. And they had all you can eat crawfish that you could eat. And so we'd pay about like $26, and we'd eat all the crawfish you could eat. And we'd meet up with friends, mostly like boating friends and people that we knew around there. And most of them were guys. I was pretty much the only girl, but these guys would throw down some crawfish. I'm telling you, they would eat pounds and pounds of this stuff. It's just like addicting. They just eat and eat and eat. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to be bringing you along for that party. We are having that party coming this weekend, which is just a few days from today. So it's a big old thing that we do. We usually have about 200 people come. Every year it gets bigger and bigger. This year it may get a little smaller because we recently left our church, and when you leave a church, it's almost like a cult, like they don't want to associate with you anymore. So that was our experience of the church that we left, and most of those people, just upon us leaving the church, don't really talk to us anymore. So we did lose that portion of our friends, but we have plenty of other friends. So I think it'll still be a good party. I'm gonna take you along and kind of film the cooking process, the preparation, the party itself, just all of that. So come back to my channel if you have not subscribed to my channel already. Subscribe and click that notification bell. Check out my other stuff as well on, like I say, my other channel. So I have over here behind me already heating up on the pot some oil. So you're going to get yourself a pot and you're going to kind of, you know, put a little bit of oil at the bottom like you're going to fry, but not like a ton of it, just a little bit to coat the bottom, because you're going to saute the green beans just enough to get them kind of that kind of hard, crunchy, burned, kind of not burned, but you know, kind of charred flavor and texture to them. So that's what I have heating up over there. As soon as I get done snapping these green beans, I have about this much left, then I'll head on over there. What you're going to do is saute them over that oil, the vegetable oil, and they're going to kind of puff up. You're going to wait till they get kind of puffy, and that will indicate when they're kind of ready for you to do the next step, which is going to be putting in the sauce. Now, we haven't prepared the sauce yet. I have all of that on this side to show you here in a little bit, but first we got to snap these peas and get them a little bit cooked up. And while we're cooking them up, I'll show you how to make the sauce. Now, these green beans are amazing. Like, if your child is picky, your child will definitely love these because they have a little bit of sweetness to them. Now, they have sugar in them, I'm not gonna lie. They do have sugar, but they are so yummy, and they, you know, some food is going to require some sugar in it for it to be good. So sometimes with Asian stuff like the teriyaki, it requires sugar to get that taste. But I bet you anything, you're gonna really love these Asian green beans, and it's probably gonna become a revolving recipe for you. It is for me. We do this, well, definitely in the summer when we have green beans. When we don't have green beans, well, we don't make it. But if we have green beans, we do. And then we'll make it every week. We also enjoy making egg rolls and stuff like that from scratch. So I have that on my channel as well. Y'all can check that out. I have a whole playlist around Cook With Me. So go check that out if you have not already done so and you enjoy these kind of cooking videos. All right, so here is the last one of my green beans, because I don't think I'm going to do these. Let's see, this one's kind of crunchy. That's it. So all done. So I have my green beans here. I'm just going to turn around. You're probably going to just see the back of me. I'm going to go ahead and saute them a little bit there, and I will be back here to show you how to make that sauce. So there's the green beans in the oil. You can see as I put them in, they kind of look that opaque kind of matte color, and then as they cook in the oil, they start to look more shiny. And eventually they're kind of going to puff up a little bit, and that's when you're going to want to put in your sauce. Now I'm just going to let this cook here probably 2 minutes. Come back and show you the sauce. All right, now we're going to get ready to make our sauce. So you're going to need a measuring cup or something to pour it into, and then pour it into your pan over there that we got cooking with our green beans. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get some soy sauce. You're going to need soy sauce, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and open the top of it because you're going to need quite a bit. So you're going to need 3/4 cup of the soy sauce. Okay. And you're going to need some sugar. You're going to have the recipe in the description, so you can go check that out. I have about 1/2 cup, probably less of that of sugar. You'll get the exact measurements in my description. And you're going to pour that straight into your soy sauce. Now you're going to use a tablespoon of the ground mustard. So I'm just going to put it in my hand here and put it in. And then you're going to use some garlic. So I buy this kind of already minced garlic. And I'm going to need a spoon. So I'm coming up behind here, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to stir my bit of... Okay, so you're going to do a tablespoon of the garlic. And then you're going to use a little bit of sesame oil. Just a little dash to give a little flavor. Okay. And you're going to mix that. So mix that together. Mix it there. So it's going to be like this sweet teriyaki. It's essentially like a teriyaki. So if you don't have these ingredients but you have a teriyaki, you could do that. But this works the best because it soaks up into the green beans and kind of really takes up a lot of the flavor. Anyhow, so you're going to mix it until the sugar has kind of like mixed in there. Now I'm going to bring you over to the stove because it's probably likely that the green beans have cooked enough for us to go ahead and put the sauce in. And so the final step is really to put the sauce in and cook a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think that's enough. So it's just going to look like, it's just going to be like soy sauce, that consistency. All right, so I'm going to head over to the stove. Okay, they are all done. This is what it looks like when they are done cooking. All right, these are the green beans. They're all done. They are so yummy. That's what they look like. Now let's head on over to look at the chicken. This is the chicken. It's out of the oven now and has been cooling here for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's kind of pinkish because of the sauce, but I'm going to go ahead and slice it into slices. I'm going to add a little bit of teriyaki sauce just to make it a little bit more Asian style. Over here I have my rice cooking. So rice, Asian green beans, and plum glazed teriyaki chicken. All right, here's the chicken, and so now I'm just going to put some teriyaki sauce. And that is it. I just kind of chopped it up. It's all moist and yummy. I'm just adding a little bit of sauce to it to give a little more flavor. And that's it. I'll show you my plate.